you beautiful Evertonians and football enthusiasts all over the globe, and in particular, right here on YouTube, the Mr. Archer channel. Now, we had two games last Saturday, this past Saturday. I did a watch along for the first one versus Sevilla. I did an hour's worth of the game against Mainz, but then the Everton.com stream went all Everton, I guess, and then no one's heard from me since. Got a few people asking me in the comments on some other lines of communication where I've been. I would like everyone to know, if you care that is, that I have been making a new signing of my own. Now let me just walk you through this. We'll get into transfer news. We'll get into ins and outs. We'll get into my thoughts about the matches at the weekend, which obviously I'm going to tell you right now, I thought that the transfers that we've been rumored with will probably solve the issues that we had in the preseason games. However, first of all, I would like to introduce you to a very special member of my team. This guy right here, his name is Kaiser. He is my Siberian Husky Malamute mix. I started doing videos the start of last season, and I unexpectedly took a break during the months of late February to the start of June. The reason for that was that this little fellow actually had an embolism in his spine, which caused him to be to be paralyzed for a while below the waist, couldn't use his back two legs. Long story short, he's gotten a lot better. He's about 95% now. However, during that time, me and my wife decided that we wanted to try and search out and find another dog to keep Mr. Kaiser company. And as you do, as Everton do themselves with Marcel Brands, we tried to play the market. We didn't want to get a brand new puppy. We also didn't want to get a super aged one, but you often have to scout these things out because Kaiser has been with us as the lonely, spoiled baby dog for 6 years. However, this Saturday, we will be making a brand new signing, and I would like to introduce you to now, this is Luca. Yes, he has been named by the Mr. Archer, that's me, for our fabulous, wonderful left back, Luca Dean. It just so happened that when me and the missus were discussing names, I bought up names like Richie. I bought names up like Leighton. I bought a whole bunch of names up that she doesn't really know much about Everton besides what I prattle on to her about after a game or after a transfer, and she just nods and says, "That's wonderful." However, when I brought up the name Luca, she thought it was a really great name. So on the left there is Kaiser. On the right there is Luca, who we had to take him to have a little meet and greet to make sure they were right for each other. They got along, no snarling, no overt humping, no aggression, no all of that. Have a sit-down interview with the people that were doing the adoption process, paperwork to do with shots and rabies and all that other stuff. However, today we did finally get the call that we will be able to pick up Luca on Saturday. And I do have a picture, if you still care, if you're still here, of these two playing and having a good lazy time on the floor. Yes, they do almost look like twins. Luca, however, is 3 years old. Kaiser is almost 6.5 years old. So that's my new signing. That's the opening to the show. Let's get into transfer news. Okay, enough of the doggy, wolfy talk. Let's get into transfer news. Let's start with the sad but not unexpected news that today this man, Idrissa Gana Gueye, has departed from Everton Football Club. He sent us a nice little letter talking about the support and all the positives that have come from his time at Everton. But any time that you see a player talk about boyhood dreams and career aspirations and wanting something out of his footballing legacy, Ghana has always wanted to play back in France. He's always wanted to play, apparently, for Paris Saint-Germain. He did start his career in France, 7 years over there before he came to Aston Villa, and then until he moved to us. And the fee apparently is undisclosed, but sources say it's somewhere in the range of 29 million. Overall, I think it's a good piece of business. It's the right time. It's the peak of a price that we would be able to get for him. If we kept him, obviously, and he wanted to stay, we'd have to give him a new contract. We'd have to bump his wages, but he is coming into the twilight years of his career. So, again, we wish him all the best. With that, hopefully he can win the league title, maybe win the double or a treble. He'll get to play Champions League football. And so, short and sweet, but we knew it was going to happen. It's kind of, we don't want to lose someone that's as steadfast, as defensively sound, as reliable, as committed as Ghana. But, it's time to move on. We're looking for replacements. We did bring Delph in, but we've been told, and I don't believe either that he is a direct replacement after watching Delph and Gomez play together against Sevilla. It seems like those two are kind of the same type of player. So if those two would start in a midfield, I don't think we'd be obviously as defensively solid. And I think we might get a little mixed up on roles and responsibilities. But then again, it was Delph had only been with us for 10 days. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But bon voyage, Ghana. Wish you all the best. Hope you can win lots of things. Hope you and your family do fabulous for the rest of your time on this earth. But 29 million is a great deal for that. And the reason that 29 million is a good deal because this man, it's always the same picture, right? I use the same picture. Everyone seems to use the same picture because he is pointing at himself saying, am I good? Oh, I'm good. So for the 29 million that we just got in, it seems like we've agreed for a fee of 27.5 million for Moise Ken or Moise Keane. It doesn't matter how you say it. We don't care. We say Luca, we say Lucas, we say Dean, we say Digne. We can say Moise or Moise, Moise. We can say Keane, we can say Ken. As long as he has this badge in place of that ugly Juventus one, we're not too concerned. Still kind of up in the air about if there is a buyback clause or is it a first refusal clause. Apparently he's been offered and has accepted 150,000 a week, which, for a young player might be a little steep, but, for one of what I consider and what some of the experts and pundits consider to be one of the hottest young footballing prospects in the entire world, I say that let's just do it. Let's go. We obviously need a goal scorer. He's a lot different than Dominic Calvert-Lewin is. He's a lot different than Cenk Tosun. So I think it's going to be a good piece of business. Medicals scheduled probably for later today because it's obviously going to come out. Well, it's coming out on a Tuesday night, but that's in America. So Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, whenever my loyal subscribers and loyal channel viewers, I love you all. Watch this. We may have signed him already. I may be a little late, but what can you do? I was dog hunting. So I think it's a great all-around piece of business. I think he'll do great. I wouldn't put him in right from the start. Obviously, he's only going to have, a week and a half's worth of training of betting into the team. I don't see any problem with starting reliable, steady Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top, at least against Palace. Ken can always come on for the last 30, 20, 15 minutes, depending on how things are going. He'll probably get a few run-outs to start with, or he could just hit the ground running. Maybe he is that damn good, that he could just jump right into the team and just start making the net bulge. Who knows? That's part of the wonder and the excitement of seeing a young player come in with ambition, with confidence, all the good stuff that we're expecting. I don't expect him to be a flop. I don't expect him to, have any type of negative impact or, be a waste of money and all that. I think it's going to be great for him also because as Evertonians, we're going to love him. We're going to cheer him. We're going to applaud him. There's not going to be any of this vile, hopefully not, vile, disgusting behavior that we see in Serie A when it comes to players of color or different religious areas. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get political, but we all know what goes on in Italian football and some other countries around the world. And it's absolutely disgraceful, despicable, and those people really need to be locked up and banned for life if they're ever caught. Just like the guy that was hollering at Raheem Sterling, he got banned, obviously, from ever going to another game at Stamford Bridge for the rest of his life, and you deserve that, pig. Anyways, so we're seeing how the Moise Ken thing pans out. Like I said, I could be late. You could already sign. You're going to be watching this like, oh, Mr. Archer, you're late. But you know what? Time zones. It happens. So, yeah. And then let's just get into this last one about, big transfer rumors. This lad right here, Wilfried Zaha, we put a £50 million bid in, right? And that was actually a bid, and Crystal Palace basically told us to stuff it. Arsenal offered 40. We told them no. We're going to tell you no for 50. And then another report came out saying that we'd offered them 55 million plus James McCarthy plus Cenk Tosun. That apparently was so much dross, so much swill that Everton had to officially come out and tell people in the press and on social media that we never, ever, ever put that second bid in. Yada, yada. So we don't know what's going to go on. Zaha obviously wants a move. With Nicolas Pepe going to Arsenal, they're not going to. Apparently, they didn't have any money to spend in the first place, but they've already bought in one signing. They've already bought in another player and sent him back out on loan. They're looking at 70, 75 for Nicolas Pepe. So they're obviously not going to bring in Wilfried for 80 million or however that works. So do we just let it go down to the wire and just say, take it or leave it? They're obviously financially, secure. They probably were before they sold Wan-Bissaka to Crystal Palace for that 50 million. Steve Parish knows what he's doing, obviously. Roy Hodgson, does he know what he's doing? He keeps him in the Premier League, right? So I guess he does know what he's doing. But either or, I think Wilfried is a good player. I think he'd be a good fit for us. He's another player that he's obviously Premier League proven, but also I think he would flourish in a team that's not completely reliant on him constantly to get penalties, to get free kicks, to make stuff happen, to be creative, to bang in the goals, all of that other stuff. If he can play with Bernard, with Richarlison, with Moise Ken, with Sigurdsson, with Gomez, with all the players that we have to work around him to take the pressure off, or some of the pressure off. I mean, the pressure's going to be on. If you put on this badge, the pressure's going to be on Willie. But, Willie will go home. And by home, I mean score on the back of the net and do good things for us. If he comes to us, some people don't like him. Some people don't rate him. Some people, it's hit or miss. But he can only do his talking and his proving if people wrong on the pitch. He said he's willing to move to the northwest. He's willing to probably talk to us, hear what we have to say. But then it just all comes down to if Crystal Palace are willing to let him go for less than 80 million. It might be another case, just like with Kurt Zouma, which I'm not going to get into too much. Too much hasn't moved on the Kurt Zouma front, but, he may have to just walk into the office. I know he signed a mega bumper deal. That's always the thing that happens is you say you're happy, you sign a bumper deal, and it makes it hard for us to get a transfer going because you can't, how do you say you're happy a year ago? You're willing to commit your time and your energy and your spirit and your everything to a club, to the badge, and then a year later say, hey, someone big came in, someone that has either European football or has the opportunity of a growing project. You might have seen Bramley Moore Dock and just been like, oh, I want to go play there. He probably doesn't talk like that, but, either way. So, yeah, but back then, the Zouma thing, I think he has to walk into Frank's office and say, hey, am I going to be number one and number two? Those are my positions that I'm in your thinking for next season. Like I'm going to start most games if I'm not injured, if I'm not suspended, if we don't have, a lot of games in a short amount of time. Like if I'm third or fourth choice gaffer, I'd rather go back to Everton, have my number 5 shirt again, boss it around with Keane, boss it with Mina, have a good time, score goals, because European Championships is coming up for Zouma. Zouma wants to play there. So we'll see what's going to go on there. Not too much other news. Looks like Joe Williams might be going out the door, may have already. Don't know if it's a permanent, don't know if it's a loan. So on the transfer front, not too much else. We're just looking for creative, offensive players. Decent, young, bright, talented players that have a drive, a desire, and ambition to improve themselves and to improve Everton as a squad, as a team, and move us up the table and hopefully get us European football for next season. Those are the big topics in the transfer news, basically. I mean, there's some other rumors out there. Obviously, we're looking at oh, by the way, it's Andre Gomez's birthday today while I'm doing this. So I mean, there's rumors about Mario Lamina, who said he wants to leave Southampton. Obviously, he's surplus to requirements at Hasselhoff's team. I don't know. I don't know if he is he's a decent player, but I haven't seen too much of him. I didn't really see too much of him last season because he was injured, in and out the team. Changing of managers, changing of style, changing of tactics. Didn't really put him in the most positive light last season, but I don't think he is a direct replacement for Ghana. And, that's what we really need to look for because, Delph, Gomez, obviously, Tom Davis, Schneiderlin, they're all kind of, sort of, some of them could fill in. I don't think any of them really do what Ghana does, or did, sorry. He did for us, so we need to get honestly a direct replacement. We're looking obviously at Ivory Coast midfielder Jean-Philippe Gabamin. We be jamming, Gabamin. So yeah. Oh, and when I was looking at this website, apparently it looks like we've got a leaked picture from Moise Ken's Instagram. But yeah, obviously it's a Photoshop, I would assume. But he looks good in an Everton shirt. He's got the hair back now. So, but yeah, so we're in for Gabamin. Things about Malcolm have also come up. We're kind of fighting it out with Zenit St. Petersburg. I don't think I'd ever be saying it. Everton Football Club and Zenit St. Petersburg are the only two teams vying for Malcolm's signature. How do we not win that one? Wages too high, transfer fee too high. I don't know what the deal is there. I still think he'd be a great addition, even if we got Zaha, even if we got Ken, even if we also, got Gabamin in. I still think that Malcolm would be a welcome addition to the team. And then there's still some small moves about Brendan Troy. But anyways, transfer news over. You already know this. I'm just making a video. You might want to hear what I think. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Who knows? But that's transfer news, and we'll just get into my thoughts on the preseason games that were last week, and if you still care. So just do the cutscene, and we'll get right into it. So I'll make this short and sweet. Everton played 2 60-minute games at the weekend in the Opel Cup. Lost both games, 1-0 to Sevilla, 3-1 to Mainz. Sevilla, by the way, beat Mainz 5-0, just saying. The first game, we put out what could possibly be our strongest, 11. And if we didn't make any more signs, that would probably be, minus Michael Keane would have been the team. He obviously wasn't in there because of the filthy, disgusting elbow we took at Wigan during last week. But that's what we're probably looking at. Pickford in goal, Seamus and Luca at fullbacks. It would have been, Mina and Holgate were in there, but usually it'd be Keane. Then you got Bernard out there. Walcott obviously playing on the right side, but that'll be filled by Richie now that he's back. But Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top. Sigurdsson was out there. Gomez was out there. Delph was out there. So, pretty strong team. I think we looked pretty good for most of it. Sevilla obviously were more technically solid and technically sound than we were. They've got some good players, but at the end of the day, Dominic should have finished his 2 chances. One of them, obviously, should have gone with a diving header. Most of the great centre forwards in years gone by, the Shearers, the Bergkamps, the Henrys, the Drogba's, you can name a whole bunch of Van Nistelrooys either way. They'd have gone in with a diving header. That would have been instinctual. Diving header to the keeper's left, to the keeper's right, hard, into the ground, underneath the keeper. Don't give him a chance, 1-0. But, Dominic, like we've seen plenty of times, it's no secret. He's great at hold-up play. He's great at running the channels. He's great at distributing the ball after he's held it up. But it's just his finishing, he's not instinctive enough. Maybe that'll come with time. Maybe it won't. But, again, that's kind of the downfall of our preseason has been our clinical finishing and creativeness in the final third. I think defensively we've been sound. With a full, strength defense, I think we've been okay. In the center of the park, I thought Gomez and Delph looked, pretty good in the Sevilla game. They can spread the ball wide. They can break the lines with passes and with moving the ball with their feet, obviously. They can both make dashing, breaking, sporadic runs forward to help out there to catch people off guard. So I don't really have any problems with that. Sigurdsson's been kind of a passenger this preseason, and again, he was against Sevilla. I don't know if it's just because we're just one-dimensional, that the middle of the park is so claustrophobic, or how should we want to put it, compact, that he doesn't really have room to maneuver around. Who knows, but maybe he's just taking it easy. It's always that too. Just going out there, play a little footy, get my fitness up, kind of run around in the shirt, look good. Probably still buzzing from his marriage and all the good vacation and holiday honeymoon pictures we saw. Who knows? He's a great player, but he's kind of gone missing. I hope that doesn't leak into the regular Premier League season. But again, yeah. And, second chance we had in that game was Dominic. Took on his defender wonderfully well. Great close control. Took it past and just didn't open his body up enough. Wasn't obviously composed enough for the finish. So who knows? And then dodgy penalty. I don't know if that had been given in the Premier League by a Premier League referee. I don't know if VAR would have given that penalty. But Holgate was out of position. Didn't make the greatest attempt at a tackle or, boxing it, whatever it is. But they scored from it. Pickford almost got to it, saved with the foot, but just put it into the roof of the net. But, what can you do? And then on to the second game. It was basically our second team, an under-23 team. We lost 3-1. I only got to watch up until when we were losing 1-0. And that goal, by the way, is what we are actually lacking. Long ball through the middle. Holgate way out of position, trying to step up. Realized he couldn't step up. Tried to turn. The guy was already in behind. Never looked like missing. Gave Pickford the eyes. Gave him the whoop. And put it into the back of the net. Go behind. Clap with the fans. That's a clinical finish. That Dominic should have been looking at that, and that's how it should have been. That's how forwards finished. That was instinctive. There was no pressure on the guy. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was going to do. It's been drilled into him what he does in that situation. He pulled it off flawlessly. And then the Everton stream went down on evertonfc.com. Didn't see Gibson's goal live, obviously. Saw it in a replay. Decent finish. Everyone was giving him plaudits. Everyone, and he deserves them. He's had a good preseason. And then they scored 2 more goals. I saw those obviously in the highlights, but I didn't get to watch it live, so I just shut the stream off after an hour. Just said, sorry, Everton, if that's how you're going to play. I don't know if there's any conspiracy theory. They were saying, oh, this is just going to hell. We look like ass. So let's just pretend we have technical difficulties so Evertonians don't have to suffer through this. I'm fine with that. That's some good PR if you did that. In a way, bad PR another if you're trying to promote the site. And when people actually do pay, 30 quid to be an official member, we like the pen that we're going to get. We do like the decal. We like everything else that we get. We like the discounts. We like everything about it. But the fact that the stream goes down, people are trying to stream. Content creators are trying to, get their sub counts up and get more viewers and have a good time, have a chat, this and that. But then when the stream goes down, it's just disappointing all around. So shame on you, Everton. Shame on you. Don't blame the internet. Blame your infrastructure. With cloud services and a back end of streaming content. It's not, that shouldn't be happening. Not in this day and age. Not in 2019. But the preseason so far has been glaringly obvious that we've got a decent defense. We've got a pretty solid and a pretty well balanced, and we should have an even more well balanced midfield. But it's just the final third. Wally's not going to cut it. Dominic still is not going to cut it. He can't be our week in, week out number 9. Glad that Richie's back. Hopefully he'll play a little bit versus Werder Bremen. Moise Ken coming in will do wonderful things for us going forward. A player that can create his own opportunities, that instinctively gets into goal-scoring opportunities and goal-scoring positions. Bernard's going to need to pitch in more. And, if Zaha magically comes in, or if we get Malcolm, like, that's going to be improved. But from now until the end of the transfer window, that has to be the priority. I'm sure it is. I don't have to tell Marcel his job. I don't have to tell Marco what to demand. I don't have to tell Farad to put his hand in his pocket. Both hands are in both pockets right now, just waiting to splash it. Just say, just take it. Just take it. And that's about it. So, we all know it was crap. We like to see the Toffees play. We like to see the lads get out there and have a kick around. We shouldn't take it too seriously. Yes, it's all about fitness. Yes, it's all about minutes. But at the end of the day, we need to win something. That could have been a piece of silverware. We lost the Sports Pacer Cup to the Kenyan team, the Karabangi Sharks. We should have 2 pieces of silverware right now going into the season. Trophy cabinet should have been opened twice so far this preseason. But no, we haven't got anything. And it's just a worry that, if we went into the season, there's no way we'd finish in the top 6. We may not even get into the top 8 with that squad and that squad depth and with that type of rotation going on. So we're not going to get negative, just saying what I saw, just saying what you guys saw. If you're right, I'm right. That's how it works here. But thanks for your time. It's been a long one, but I thought I'd update you on what's been going on, give you my thoughts, give you my opinions, and all that. And don't forget, 646, we're climbing. It's getting better. I'd like to see about 648 by the time I do another video, which should probably be tomorrow. Hopefully we're going to get a signing tomorrow. There should be some big news tomorrow. So if you're new, please please subscribe. If you're already liking my videos and you're already subscribed to the channel, please leave something in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know if you got any questions. Definitely get your point of view and opinions on what I've said, or any type of content related to Everton. I can address those and give you some feedback with that. But other than that, it's great to do this for you beautiful people, and I will see you in the next video. Signing off.